What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again, battling the elements. 31 degrees down here in Birmingham, aka Spain, Mauritius, anywhere south is what John says is a different country. I'm absolutely melting. How are you, John?
The same, mate. We've got no get up and go in me at the minute, honest to God. It's ridiculous. I don't know how people live abroad.
Yeah, but they have air conditioning. They're built for it. We're not.
They don't have air conditioning outside. I've just stepped outside and I felt like I was stepping off a fucking plane.
Yeah, but they've got a swimming pool.
Yeah, but I can't swim.
Right, anyway, guys, what's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again. Do that intro again, because we're fucking dying. We're talking about transfers today. We're talking about people that we would like to sign, we wouldn't like to sign. Just a quick overview of what's currently going on and what sort of gory intel information that we can give you from Finch Farm, live and direct. This is a live exclusive. Are you ready? I'm going to give it to you right now. We don't know fuck all what's going out from Finch Farm, but what I can tell you is I do not know whether this meeting that was meant to have happened 3.5 months ago has even happened yet, because no one's walked in the door yet. And Twitter, everyone's head's rolling off on Twitter. We haven't signed anyone. Carlo wanted everyone in for pre-season training. Look, let's be straight. At this moment in time, it's very, very difficult for teams to bring players in, making sure that, you know, they are getting the right players as well for the right prices, because a lot of people, you know, some clubs like Dortmund and Sancho, for example, they still want £110 million in this climate, which is madness. Everton with Leo still want £30 million for Gabriel Magalhaes, and we'll give you a keen, massive update on Magalhaes later in the video. So keep posted right to the end, where we tell you that we don't fucking know anything, and then on top of that, we'll give you some other information. But yeah, I mean, John, what's your take on the window so far, mate?
Well, you see, my head's been falling off because we haven't signed anyone. But when you look at the Premier League as a whole, there's not many teams that have strengthened. You know, Liverpool have brought someone in. Apparently, that I've seen something before. They're going to go all out for Jack Grealish. I did see that before. Man City have signed a player. Chelsea look like they're going to have a couple over the line before the weekend. So, on the whole, it's quiet, you know. And going back to what you were saying, Michael, about it's quiet coming out of Finch Farm, that seems to have changed since Brands has come in. Not much leaks out anymore from Finch Farm. You know, you've got a couple of in the nose, and we get told a couple of things. But the things we get told, Michael, are the players that everyone knows that we're linked with. So yeah, I'm sick of hearing Magalhaes' name, to be honest with you. Every day he's getting talked about. But you know what? He might come to the Premier League and be a flop after all this. So for me, as I said, I'd move on. I'd go for our next target on the list, and I'd think about him and let him go wherever he wants. Because I'm not being funny. I don't want a player at our club who's fucking us about the way he is.
How do we know it's Magalhaes though and not Leo? You see, that's the issue I have.
For the move though, Michael, and let's be honest about it. Everton's stance, in my opinion, is correct. They want the same amount that they wanted in February before the lockdown happened. Now, clubs haven't got as much money. I'm not saying Everton are skint, like you see some people saying we're skint on Twitter. We're not skint. Financial fair play is fucking us. As you said to me yesterday, we have to find £70 million before we get hit with financial fair play if we sign other players.
It's not necessarily that. We've basically got to find a way of generating either more commercial income or cutting a lot of players' wages and bringing in some transfer fees. We will move on to that.
Yeah. So for me, I'd move on from Magalhaes. I don't want the same situation we had with Zuma, where we put all our eggs in one basket, as I say, and we don't end up getting a centre half in.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So some of the centre halves, I'm literally going to fly through some names, and I just want you to say possible or dead. And these are about deals that you think could happen. Right. You ready?
Yep.
Thiago Silva.
Possibly.
Todibo.
Possibly. I'm going to go back on the Thiago Silva one and say I think it's dead. I think he's going to end up signing another contract at the club he's at for 12 months, to be fair. But Todibo, possibly.
Zuma?
Being offered to Everton, apparently. Possible.
Mings? No,
can't see it. Dead. He's never been alive to be dead, that one, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the recent one, Chris Smalling.
Dead for years.
We also get linked with Rojo every year as well. So before we get linked with him, I'd rather just get that one done early, just before we start. That's dead from me as well. That can piss off. Another thing that come out, obviously, is John Joe Kenny. Carlo Ancelotti made it very obvious to the Liverpool shite Red Echo that he may be part of the plans for next season, John Joe Kenny, and he may compete with Seamus Coleman for the right back position. What's your take?
That for me will be too weak at the full back position. I don't think John Joe Kenny, in my opinion, is good enough for the Premier League. Seamus is hot and cold since he had the leg break, which, listen, is very, very understandable. That tells me if he's saying that, then we're not going to get a right full back in, which I'd like us to get a right full back. And I thought he'd made their minds up on John Joe Kenny. Obviously, events now are probably happening where they know they're not going to get anyone in, so they're going to use him.
Yeah, I think you are spot on. I think there's a couple of issues there with the fact that, look, if Everton need to be tight with money, we all know the one position that Everton definitely need to strengthen. So that's the one area that Everton won't be tight with money, and that's centre midfield. If that means John Joe Kenny has to stay, if that means that we can bring in the centre midfielder that we want, but John Joe has to stay, I'll probably do deal with it for a season, but I don't want to. That's the issue. That's the issue we have, is because we've got so many restrictions from financial fair play from 2017 to 2018 season, which fundamentally fucks us now. That fucks us right now. It's difficult, but I semi think I could live with it. The only other thing I'd like to see is potentially a loan for another right back. If it has to be a loan, make it a loan. Just like Sidibe. It didn't work with Sidibe. Go and try another.
I think there's going to be more loans than cash buys in this window, to be fair. Going on to Ancelotti now, he wouldn't have come to Everton if he wasn't promised money. That, I believe, he was promised money. You said something to me the other day that maybe he was told his first season it's going to be tight because of the repercussions from 17-18. But then next season, there will be more money available to spend because the financial fair play won't matter as much. That was a good point from you. Maybe he has been told that first year will be a struggle, but then the second and third year that you're at the club, it will be a bit easier.
Maybe. Right, let's move on into midfield then, because again, we've been linked with several new players over the last few days. Let's start from the beginning. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you earlier, whether it's dead, possible, or done in this case, because this is... we'll go with Decore.
Possible.
Alan.
Very close to being done, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it would be Alan over Decore. We've also been linked with a certain Aaron Ramsey. A few people have made a few jokes on Twitter about Aaron Ramsey and Gordon Ramsay and having more energy in our midfield, but for me, I'll just say it straight as I believe it is, it would take Juventus to be paying probably 2/3 of his wages. He's on 400 grand a week. They've got to be paying 250 of that at least for Everton to even consider it. And if they want him signed, as in to be sold, Everton ain't going to offer 150 grand a week and whatever amount of money on top. So for me, that's a dead deal.
I don't think it'll happen, Adam Ramsey, to be honest. To be honest with you, do I really want Adam Ramsey at the club? I mean, he's better than what we've got now, but I think there's better.
Yeah, I agree. And there's some players that we haven't been linked with that I wish we were linked with. I've said it several times. Buendia from Norwich. He's a player that I would love to sign because he instantly improves our team. Now I'm going to ask you a question about a certain Aston Villa midfielder we all know. Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz was signed from Manchester City. John's face now, he's sitting there going, he's having me on here. No, I'm serious. Douglas Luiz signed from Aston Villa. It's a very, very good technically. Signed from Manchester City to Aston Villa last summer. He's a technically very gifted footballer. He's got good quality on the ball. And if I look at the three midfielders that Aston Villa have in the centre of the park, Luiz, McGinn and Grealish, they've got a better midfield than we have in the centre of the park. Now, Douglas Luiz is young. He's capable. Would you be prepared to move for players like that? Or do you want to go to Europe and go and get your Allens?
Yeah. I'd rather have an Allen than a Douglas Luiz. Listen, I don't want to be signing players. Obviously, you make certain, you make certain decisions that I'm going to say, I don't want to be signing players from teams that were nearly relegated, who were relegated. But if you're offering me Jack Grealish, then, you do make certain issues that, yeah, you would allow that. If Jack Grealish is going to leave Aston Villa for me, he's not going to be there next season, so they won't have to sell anymore. He did stay in the Premier League. I think Aston Villa will play hardball. If they lose Jack Grealish, I think they're going to play hardball with any other player that's linked with a move away. So I want Allen, mate. I want Allen, and I know you've pointed out he doesn't score many goals, but if you had the option for Allen or Douglas Luiz, I'm going for Allen.
Yeah, I'm going for Allen as well. It's just a player that I'd seen us have a sort of tentative link on HITC. Should probably be SHIT. Written by a bunch of CUNTS. With the name of JOHN. Anyway, right, let's move on to right wing then. We've been linked with, again, several players, and left wing as well. So let's just talk wingers in general. There's some banter going around Twitter at the minute regarding a winger. I am mentioning it. I believe it's not true. Is St. Maximin, or whatever his name is, from Newcastle. Incredibly talented individual. Reminds me slightly of Balassi, but has probably more end product than Balassi. What's your take on him?
See, I like that sort of player, me, as Zaha, who picked the ball up, who run at the opposition. Deulofeu was that sort of player. He just didn't have much gas in his tank, to be honest with you, Deulofeu. I like St. Maximin. I've watched him. Obviously, we've all seen him, and he's direct, Michael. He's fast, he's got a good cross on him. He can take people on. He's capable of scoring goals. He will bring more goals to our midfield. So you're saying Allen doesn't score as many goals. So if you bring Allen into the middle and we get someone like St. Maximin, you've then got a bit more bite in midfield, but you've also got goals.
Yeah.
For me, St. Maximin, I would be happy with a player like that.
How much would he cost?
See, the thing is, in the current climate, Michael, how long's a piece of string? Do you know what I mean? It really does depend. Apparently Mike Ashley's still in talks with this Dubai-based company for the takeover. They mightn't have to sell if they haven't sold any players by the time that takeover gets done. Do you know what I mean? But obviously we know what Mike Ashley's like. So if he's still in charge and Everton put a bid in for him, 35.
Yeah, I think it might be more than that, but yeah, I get. All right, Wilfred Zaha again. It's gone a little bit quiet on Zaha, but apparently he's available for 30 million, which I just don't believe.
Yeah, for 30 million, I'd take Zaha. I said on one of the other videos, I think that boat sailed, but now Crystal Palace are linked with someone who may replace him. I can't think of his name. I did see it the other day.
Ismail Sarr from Watford.
That's the one. If they bring Sarr in, Zaha will go, in my opinion. I think Everton will reignite their interest in him. It's whether Everton will pay the 30 million. But personally, I would pay 30 million for Zaha.
See, I'd rather have Ismail Sarr than Zaha. He's younger.
How much does he cost, though?
Well, he's probably going to cost you 40 million. It's difficult.
Well, there's £10 million difference, and he's younger, as you say. Then, yeah, but you know, are Everton going to go out and spend £40 million on a player from a team who's been relegated? You know,
well, we've done it before.
Well, we have done it before, but again, I keep going back to the current climate.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking the other day, Michael, and we were saying about if we get a right back in the centre half and a right winger in the centre midfield, and we were adding it up. We brought Dallo into the conversation of the right back. That's gone quiet. You know, we get him on loan. We spend 25-30 million on Allen. You know, then you're looking at a winger. We could potentially bring a loan player in and 3 cash players. I think we worked it out at something like 70 million. That would be a good window.
I think so. We'll talk about some of the Everton outgoings in a minute, but I personally think it'll be 2 loans and 2 cash. I think it'll be a centre back loan, a right back loan, and a centre midfielder cash and a winger cash. And if I was a betting man, I would go with Dallo, Zuma, Allen, and Zaha.
Yeah. I think they're the players we named the other day on the phone. Yeah, do you know that? For me, that would be a good window, Michael. But we need to start getting the ball moving now because the players are back in training on I think they go to Finch Farm Friday for a COVID test. And then 48 hours later, they go back training. So they're back in training on Sunday. Will we bring someone in before Sunday? Potentially Allen. Yeah. But I just get the feeling now that Brands and Ancelotti aren't agreeing on a few things.
Yeah, I wanted to come on to this. I'm glad you've done that there because I wanted to bring this up now. There's been rumours that Ancelotti and Brands have had a little bit of a falling out. Me and you did a video the other week and we basically said that out of that argument, Ancelotti wins all day. And in my opinion, he should win all day. You know, he is the person that has to pick the team that goes on that pitch, not Marcel Brands. Marcel Brands knows the finances behind the club. For me, I'm not concerned, but I could see Everton looking very different next year in terms of players out, players in, maybe a new director of football because his 3-year deal's up. I could see Everton being quite different next season, so I'm interested to know what you think will happen this season and next season.
I think this season is going to be hit and miss. In all honesty, I think not this season, come the season after, as you say, it will be completely different. If Brands doesn't renew his contract, I'm not asked if we don't bring another director of football in. I don't like the job. I don't like the title. For me, the manager should have the say on who we get.
Yeah.
And I think this is why maybe Brands and Ancelotti are that weird. Because we've never really had a manager who stood up to Brands and go, well, hang on, I don't want him. He's shit. Basically, the managers in the past before Carlo come in, the majority of the players have been dropped onto the manager. Carlo won't stand for that, and I think that's probably why there's a bit of ruptions between the two of them because Brands isn't getting his own way. I don't think they're agreeing on players.
Yeah, and look, we don't know. It's very difficult for us to sit here. Obviously, we did an interview yesterday with Mick Rathbone. Mick Rathbone suggested nothing like that, but again, he doesn't work with the first team anymore, so he doesn't know the ins and outs.
He's not going to come on a YouTube channel and have a pop at the club when they pay his wages.
No.
Doesn't matter what capacity he's working in at the club. If he was the cleaner,
yeah,
he couldn't come on and say, oh yeah, they're having fucking murder. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't do that. The way Mick was talking, obviously people have watched that interview done with him. It was fantastic, by the way. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it because it's brilliant. I think the way Mick was talking, it's a work in progress, Everton, and I think it's going to be like that for the next season. And then that's when Carlo Ancelotti will really stamp his authority on that club in his second year.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of the outs then. This morning, Cenk Tosun, lots of attraction from Turkey. Fenerbahce, Besiktas, his former club. Can you see Cenk Tosun leaving the club this summer?
Well, we've been saying this for years. You know, he's going to leave, but he comes out and he thinks he's actually better than what he is with some of his comments. Now, I'm not being funny. He says he wants to fight for his Everton career. No, he doesn't. He wants to sit on the wages that he's on because he's not going to get that wage in Turkey. Does he leave? I think we will see the back of St. Tosin, but then how does he pass a medical? Because he's fucked.
Yeah, you don't need to pass a medical with... if he... So essentially, you can still do a medical test without working on the area that has been done, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So he still could pass a medical.
I think we'll see the back of St. Tosin. I don't think... let's be honest about it. I think we all know he hasn't got a future at Everton. He's happy sitting on his wages, and I think it's been like that for the past few transfer windows, if I'm all honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, let's talk about Gylfi Sigurdsson. He was linked with Sheffield United, but I think we're both of the opinion I don't think he's going to go.
No, I mean, don't get me. I think it's a couple of times the season just gone, and he was certainly playing him more than we all wanted him to play him. But again, we didn't have that many options in midfield. Will he play every week if we strengthen that area? Probably not. So then Gylfi Sigurdsson needs to sit down then with Ancelotti. If we start bringing midfielders in and say, well, hang on, where do I fit in here? But then you've got the worries, the wages he's on, Michael. Sheffield United are going to pay that. Would he go there on loan? I don't know. I just don't know. Sheffield United in the Europa League, aren't they?
No.
Oh, didn't he get in? No,
they missed out.
Yeah, to me, I want to see the back of him, but we've agreed we don't think he will go. Same as Walcott. Can't see Walcott going.
Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to go through the squad, and I simply want you to say yes and no. That's it. That is it. Right, Jordan Pickford.
No.
I won't even bother with any of the other goalkeepers because I personally would bring in 2 goalkeepers. Holgate.
Stays, yeah.
Keane.
I'd rather keep Keane over Mina.
Yeah. Dean.
Stays.
Mina.
Goes.
Coleman.
He has to stay, doesn't he? We're not bringing it right back in.
Yeah. Branthwaite.
Stays all day.
Yeah. Kenny.
Goes.
Delph.
Bucks off.
Yeah, maybe he might go to Leeds. I really sit here and hope that he goes to Leeds.
Just hope he goes anywhere. Sitting here anywhere.
Sigurdsson.
Want him to go, but I don't think he will.
Gomez.
Stays.
Gabami.
If he's alive, then he stays to see what he's made of.
Davis.
Fucks off.
Beningame.
Stays, and I want to see him give him more time. Michael, I said this last season. He stays for me. Mick Rathbone spoke really highly of him.
Yeah, agreed. Richarlison.
Yeah. Stays.
Calvert-Lewin.
Stays.
It's a bit slow, that. Any particular reason, John?
What's a bit... well... I'm going to say it how it is. I'm not going to hold back. We agreed, me and you, the other day, that when he was playing well in the middle of the season, it was possibly a purple patch, because before it was awful. From the football starting again, he was awful. But is it down to the service that he's getting from the midfield? I don't know. Let's see what happens with Calvert-Lewin when we bring in creative midfielders. Yeah. I don't know. But at the minute, stays.
Yeah, agreed. Walcott.
Stays.
Tosin.
Goes.
He won't be.
Goes as soon as possible.
Bernard.
I think he will.
No.
I think goes, but I think he'll stay.
Yeah. Moise Kean.
Stays for one more year till he proves me wrong.
Hopefully. Yannick Bolasie.
Stays. It goes. He's more. He does more on Twitter than what he does on the footy pitch, so goes for me.
Yeah. Anthony Gordon.
Stays.
And the saviour to our goal scoring potential opportunities is Sandro Ramirez.
Goes.
Yeah.
He left Everton. I think he's only scored 2 goals, in all that time.
He scored 3 goals while on loan in Spain this season. Yeah. What?
Well, 4 clubs while he's been to 2 different clubs, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I think that's about it. I think that's just a little roundup on transfers. I didn't want to overcook it. I didn't want it to take forever. It's a half-an-hour video. It's about right, ain't it, John? Eh?
Yeah, it's about right of us listening to talk absolute shite. What I will say is, I'm not getting excited with Everton at the minute, Michael. I said this to you. You know, something needs to happen because it's shit. It's boring. We're linked with the same names. We're not signing anyone. You know, and I think us as fans just need that bit of oomph putting back into us from Everton because it's very, very, very quiet. And I'm telling you now, I don't think Ancelotti thought he would be driving into Finch Farm on Friday to see fucking Tom Davies standing there. Fabian, you know, and Velasquez is already back there, and Besic is going to be there. I honestly think if Ancelotti could make the decision now on taking the Everton job again, I don't think he'd take it because he doesn't need the money. I think he underestimated how shit that squad is, Michael.
I can't argue with that. And the only person who can answer it is Ancelotti. And unfortunately, he declined to come on the channel, so it's understandable. John, I'm going to leave you to it. Have a fantastic day at work. We love you. We will continue to love you. And guys, just to let you know, John mentioned to me the other day that he might start his own YouTube channel. And I just thought, you know what I'll do is I'll get you guys to see what your thoughts are on that. So John might start his own YouTube channel, not Everton related, more about life and talking about John in general and throwing a few jokes in there. A bit like the Blue Van Man, really, but I could see John being like the fat scouse man. Now, if you look at his face there, that's because his thumb's locked. It's brilliant. So yeah, John, I just thought I'd give you a little chip in there.
Any comments that any ideas, just leave them in the comments of what I put my YouTube channel on, and if you think it'd be a good idea. Because listen, I'm not going nowhere off the channel, unfortunately. You lot, I am here for the long haul, but it's just a side thing for me to do, really.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to leave it.
We will see you soon.
Yeah, what he said. See you later. Peace.
I look at people and I wonder all day, who are you and you are not the one in your way. And then I think about myself and I state, I'm a pretty boss with all my shit brain waste. I'm a freak in the sheets, but I got clothes.